Paris Hilton felt weird and uncomfortable about sex videos she made when she was 19. Paris Hilton is speaking out about the infamous sex tape that helped make her renowned in the early 2000s. Roll the tape. The reality TV star turned media mogul opens up about the sex video she made with her lover Rick Salomon in 2000 in an excerpt from her forthcoming book Paris, the memoir, which will be released on March 14. Salomon is only referred to in Hilton's story by the moniker Scum, without any mention of his name. The veracity of the Sunday Times excerpt has been verified by USA Today. According to the Sunday Times, Hilton writes, "I don't recall that much about the night he wanted to make a videotape while we made love. I remember drinking and taking quaaludes beforehand. He had frequently claimed that he did it with other women, but I felt strange and uneasy about it. I always said, 'I can't,' to him. It's too humiliating." Paris Hilton shares the name of her son and explains why she and Carter Reum withheld it from family. Paris Hilton believed herself to be asexual. What asexuality is and why we frequently get it wrong. Hilton claims she was coerced into making the recording despite not being capable of the level of trust needed to make a videotape like that and was told no one else would ever see it. "The worst thing I could imagine was being dumped by this adult man because I was a stupid kid who didn't know how to play grown-up games," writes Hilton. "He told me if I wouldn't do it, he could easily find someone who would, and that was the worst thing I could think of," she writes. "The fact is, I yearned to experience sensuous life. I aspired to exude the confidence of a confident lady." However, the recording would return to torment Hilton a few years later when a 37-second excerpt of the video started going viral online. Hilton begged Scum not to release the complete version of the tape because she was a rising TV star at the time and her program The Simple Life was about to premiere. He had every right to sell something that belonged to him, something that had a lot of financial value, her ex-boyfriend allegedly informed her. "In many ways, it was true that I felt like my existence had ended. The job I had envisioned was undoubtedly no longer feasible," writes Hilton. "Everything I wanted my brand to be, the respect and trust I was working to re-establish with my parents, the sliver of self-worth I'd been able to recover, all that was immediately in ruins." First red carpet outings for Paris Hilton and husband Carter Reum since becoming parents. Carter Reum and Paris Hilton's first child, a male, is described as loved beyond words. The emotional toll the scandal took on her family was worse than the intense media scrutiny that followed the release of the sex video. "Mom simply collapsed into bed and remained there. As Hilton writes, my dad worked the phones, red-faced and furious, calling lawyers, calling spin doctors, attempting to help me marshal any chance of damage control. Baron and Conrad Hilton, who are both of a sufficient age to comprehend what is being said, were so confused they could hardly look at me." At the time the recording was made, Hilton, who was 19 at the time, claims she would under no circumstances be involved in the production of an amateur adolescent porn video. Hilton says, "If this was something I had chosen to do, I would have owned it. I would have said, yup, that was my decision, while standing tall in my Louboutins. I wouldn't have apologized, I would have stuck by it, profited from it, licensed the expletive out of every frame, and then boogied on over to the bank." Fans are ecstatic to see Paris Hilton return with the re-release of Stars Are Invisible, Paris version. Who has the best-selling famous memoir of the recent 10 years? The response may shock you.